Yo, buddy. It is your friendly neighborhood CTC here, back with another edition of CTC TV, this time over YouTube, and we're going to be debuting a new series called CTC Reviews, where we're going to be taking a look at some new peripherals for your old video games, which is going to kind of bring new life into your retro gaming collection. And what better way to start this series than taking a look at a problem that I, as well as many people, had with the Nintendo 64 back in the day, and that was the controller. So we're going to be taking a look at the Brawler64 from Retro Fighters, and we're super excited about this controller. I've originally was going to jump in on the Kickstarter, but I kind of missed out on it, and I lucked out because apparently there was a problem with the first rendition of the controller with the shoulder button as well as the analog stick. And apparently Retro Fighters has taken the time to fix that issue, and I have been looking for a reason to bury the Trident for many, many moons. So go ahead and strap in. We're going to be taking a look at some gameplay, some impressions, and then a final review of the Brawler64 from Retro Fighters. Alright, my friends, for all you unboxing heads out there, we're going to actually do a unboxing right now, and thankfully it's not a complicated box. I can just kind of, let's see, should slide that out. Nice little tab there, a little bit of a rip, and then you're going to see in here, you got your Retro Fighters logo looking mighty fine right there. Pop that flab open, and here we go. So, we got the quick start instruction manual. This is going to be one of those folded guys here. It's actually really clean presentation here. I'm a fan of it. There we go. So let's read it. About us. Retro Fighters is a new video game accessory manufacturer that provides unique and cutting-edge products exclusively for the gaming community, which we are very, very thankful for. Thank you very much for making this controller. Thank you for purchasing the Brawler64 controller by Retro Fighters. Please take a moment to read through the instruction booklet for the best playing experience. Alright. The goods. The Retro Fighters Brawler64 controller is compatible with the original Nintendo 64 system. We wanted to create a fun, comfortable, and modern controller for the N64. The setup: to play, simply plug your N64 controller into the system, and when you're ready to go, The Retro Brawler64 gamepad works with memory and rumble packs, not compatible with transfer packs. Ugh. That's kind of a downer, but at the same time, I do not actually intend on burying my Trident controller for the 64, but I am looking for a better replacement. To activate turbo mode, press and hold the turbo button and the button you wish to activate turbo to. The button will now be activated with the turbo function. To remove turbo, press and hold the clear button and the button you wish to return back to regular mode. Alright, so it's got a turbo feature, which I normally don't use any of the turbo functionality or anything like that. So I'll probably do it for the sake of the video, but it's not something that I normally play with. And then customer service information. So if you guys want to follow them on social media, Retro Fighters on Facebook, Retro Fighters Co. on Twitter, and retro.fighters on Instagram. And hashtag them for a chance to win cool Retro Fighters products and merchandise. So we'll definitely be hashtagging you guys, and like I said, I'm super excited for this controller. The instruction manual was definitely nice. A lot of the time that you get things like this, you just kind of don't get anything along with it, which honestly, it's plug and play. It's not that difficult to figure out. However, the turbo functionality did need to be explained, so I'm glad that we kind of read that. And all we gotta do is pop this bad boy out here, and pressing that start button feels mighty fine. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cord length. See how long this cord is here. And we got some distance here. Now I'm not gonna get a thing of measuring tape, but we will take both controllers and kind of do this here on the camera, which I'm sure is the most professional. So that's our old school N64 controller. That's our Brawler64 controller. So the length of the cord is already a major selling point, especially in a world where we haven't experienced anybody stepping over a cord and knocking a game console over, I'm sure, in a pretty long time, because we have been blessed with the wireless options. And honestly, it'd be really cool one day to see a controller like this with wireless functionality, but for right now, the length of this cord is absolutely fantastic. And if I really needed to go longer, I even have an extension cord, so we'll test it out with that, make sure that it works. But yeah, so far so good. Right here you can see that you have your Z button, which was actually going to originally be on the back of the Trident right here. We've got two of them right here, and it's got a nice little bounce back to it. A little bit of a clicky sensation for anyone that has those fidget spinners or pin clickers. I'm definitely a pin clicker. That feels good. We got our L and R buttons here. Bounce right back up after you press them down. And then we have our turbo and our clear. Start button feels nice. And then we have the C buttons. And the directional C buttons, they're very flat. Which, if I remember, the C buttons on the original N64 controller were rounded. So I don't know how well you can see that in camera. And using them in my hands, it's a lot more comfortable to have these flat. And also you can tell that the buttons are a little bit bigger. And same thing with the A and B button. The A and B button on the original Nintendo 64 controller is rounded, and they're flat on the Brawler 64, which feels really comfortable. Gonna take some getting used to, but I already like it. Man, that analog stick is super smooth. The grip that it has on it is something that kind of sticks to your thumb, but it doesn't stick like glue. And then our D-pad on the Brawler 64, a little bit smaller, and I wouldn't describe it as flat, I would describe it as concave. Your thumb kind of sets into it, and then it kind of goes out to the top towards the edge of the arrows. So, feels really good in your hands. Honestly, this is, for right now, it's super comfortable. So, you know, me being a professional wrestler, the very first thing I'm going to test this with is, of course, going to be one of the AKI wrestling games. So, we're going to plug this thing in, we're going to put it through its paces, and then we're going to give you a little bit of a review of how it feels on that. Then we might try another game that's a little bit more analog stick heavy, and then we'll give you a final review. We are back, and we're going to be kind of giving you a rundown of the hardware that I actually use. So I do have the Nintendo 64 with the Ultra HDMI mod, and if we sneak back here, you can see that we got an MClassic plugged into that too, to really give us a really, really super clean image. I want to kind of show this to you guys so you can get an idea. This fits in kind of snug, but it fits in smooth, so you're not going to worry anything about that. But one thing I will bring up is going to be the actual controller pack slot. So when I put this into here, don't mind the mess, it kind of kind of fits snug. So that's something that you want to be aware of, but nothing that I think is of a major concern. But let's go ahead and jump right into some WWF No Mercy for the Nintendo 64. The Brawler64 from Retro Fighters to the test with WWF No Mercy. And we are going to play as Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko. I've had a little bit of time with this controller, and so far the only con that I can see is that the directional pad is not as sensitive as the Trident controller, so that's going to take a lot of getting used to. So you're really gonna have to readapt yourself to playing with this controller. Aside from that, the buttons, the flat of the A and B button and the flat of the C directional buttons feels really, really smooth. Reversals come in really, really nice. And once again, like, going back to just how hard you have to press that input on the D-pad, you really got to press it in there. It's not that sensitive. And that is, once again, I'm having some indifferent feelings about it, just because that's something that kind of changes the gameplay experience. Like right there, I was trying to Irish whip him to the ropes. I was not trying to Irish whip him to the turnbuckle, but I didn't press down hard enough on the D-pad for the direction that I actually wanted to go. So if I press the direction that I want to go, and, you know, honestly, even then, that's still kind of an issue. So I'm trying to whip him from rope to rope, and it's not going from rope to rope. He's going from buckle to buckle. So that's fine. Directly behind me works. Yeah, so you really got to mash that D-pad down in order to make sure that you are getting the desired input that you need. Okay, good. That was definitely a left directional pad and grapple. Let's see if I can get any more reversals on him real quick. Nice drop toe hold. Good. That felt good. That felt really, really good. Once again, I tried to send him to the ropes and he went to the buckles. So this is something that is a little bit problematic. I'm slightly concerned about that. Once again, I'm going to really, really, really play with this some more. Yeah, like, just to let you guys know, that was my thumb. Okay? My thumb is on the left directional pad, and right there, he didn't send him off to the ropes, he sent him off to the buckle. That is, that's rough. Okay, that one went to the ropes. So, we're not going to harp on that too much longer. We'll just kind of chalk that one up to a con. That one's to the ropes. That's good. So, let's see if we can get 3 out of 5. Or let's see if we can get 3 out of 3. Okay, 3 out of 3 is good. You just got to be really mindful. It's definitely, it feels a lot different than the original controller. Alright, and we were able to get a couple reversals in. Let's go ahead and take this puppy home. Frog splash. Alright, there you go. So, pros, the flat face buttons, really, really nice. Cons, this D-pad. That I'm not too happy with. Like, that's kind of rough. Especially, I can imagine playing like a fighting game. That would be a really, really big deal. So we're going to turn this off, and then we're going to pop in another game that's a lot more analog stick focused, and then we'll be right back in a second. Alright everybody, we are back checking out Mystical Ninja Goemon, which is a game that exclusively uses the analog stick. And we're just going to press a little bit on there, and you can see we got some tiptoe action. And then I press a little bit harder, we're tiptoeing, but we got a pace to it. Let's go ahead and go into a power walk here. We got our power walk going on, and then we got a jog, and then a full sprint. So the analog stick is going to be the major selling point of this controller. The Trident controller's analog stick, everyone knows over time those things end up losing their stiffness, and then you end up having to replace the controller itself, or you end up going out and buying the replacement device piece in order to put it in there. It's a big hassle. This is a step in the right direction as far as making a controller that will completely replace your original N64 controller. Unfortunately, the D-pad is a huge issue that I myself am having a hard time getting past, because it does really hinder the gameplay experience, especially when you're playing the old wrestling titles and you're trying to send somebody off for a back body drop, but then you end up whipping them into the turnbuckle. That's distracting, extremely distracting. So I know this is the second revision of this controller. Retro Fighters, if you're gonna make a third revision, please, please, please work on this D-pad. It feels nice in your hand. It feels nice with your thumb, but it is not responsive in the way that it needs to be. And that's something that is a major flaw. I'm very happy with the controller aside from that. I'm not returning it. I wouldn't ask for a refund, and I would recommend it. It's a really nice controller. However, that is one glaring issue that I really do feel needs to be addressed. So with that being said, this was the first episode of CTC Reviews. Definitely leave a comment below, and then I will link you all to Castlemania Games if you're looking to get this online, and I'll even let you guys know where to find Chad James at with Brandline Games. We'll send you a link to his place, that way you can stop in and visit him. And then once again, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Cutthroat Cody, and be sure to check out my Twitch channel, Twitch TV/Cutthroat Cody. So guys, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit, and we will see you next time around. Later.